I grew up on the east side of St. Louis. It's considered to be probably one of the toughest cities in the United States, aside from Detroit and New Orleans, a couple other places that are like that. But it's a pretty tough place to grow up in. I grew up in a single parent household. My mother had me when she was 20 years old. And my father, he was in and out of my life during the infant years up until I was about 5, and then he just like permanently disappeared. Talked to my father after a long stretch. It was probably about 6 years, and he had called. And I didn't know what he called about, and at that point I was really full of anger. But unfortunately, a week later he passed, and it was from a drug overdose. It took a negative effect. At that point I started really acting out, hanging out with the wrong people. I started going to school less. I wanted to just, smoke cigarettes and do other things, and I started getting tattoos, and I just really began to get involved in what was going on in the streets. But I came out here to California with the wrong attitude. I was totally like, I had the wrong mentality. And so when I came here, I brought that with me, and I got addicted to drugs. I started really drinking and smoking marijuana a lot. At 21, I began using meth and got seriously addicted to meth in a way that was terrible. At 24, I was homeless. I was living in the streets. I was actually, sleeping on bus stops, and just it was real bad. And I got to a place where I didn't care whether I lived or died anymore. God stepped in. I gave my life to Christ in there. I quit smoking cigarettes, quit a whole lot of other things, quit talking a certain way, and I decided to go to college, and I just wanted to learn more about how society works, how things function, and I graduated with my bachelor's in 2009. I met my wife, and she invited me to her church, which is here. And the first sermon just in youth that I heard just really like took me back, and you was preaching, and it was a sermon about the music we listen to and things like that, how to guard yourself from the world. And immediately I hadn't heard a message like that, in the Christian church. Usually people avoid subjects like that and things like that. So it was just like, I like that up in your face kind of, what are you really going to do for God? So it's like immediately, like after that, I dumped all the music I had, and just began to rebuild my collection around Christian music, and continued to come and just be of service. And my life has just gotten so much better. Now I'm serving in youth ministry, serving in kids ministry, and just being involved in any way I can in the men's ministry. Just whatever God has for me to do, I want to be used. I know what's out there. I know that the enemy is crouching. He's waiting outside of your door every day, and I'm just so happy that God saved me.